Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Infinity Broadcasting, and welcome back into the Racecraft Simulations V8 Veterans action for Season 26, Round 8 this evening, as we bring you the Split 2 action live from Suzuka Circuit here in Japan. It's a Grand Prix favourite figure 8 style circuit that'll bring tonight 200 kilometres of chaos, controversy, and maybe a couple of spanners in the works as well. It's going to be a wondrous case tonight as we're into the final few rounds of the season, with some clouds hanging overhead this evening, not only on Drivers' Championships hopes, but also the racing conditions as well. Could we see rain? It's definitely on the horizon. We may see some moisture get out there for the evening. Hamish Munro here with you alongside Brett Fisher once again. And Brett, we come into tonight's race. It's all on for the championship at this stage for a few drivers, one of which, or at least two, I don't know, let me correct myself, two of which have not yet won a race this season, meaning it's crunch time for them in the final few rounds. And before we...
I haven't won a race.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I don't think I'm in the race.
I was gonna say pigs could still fly, Brett, possibly, but you know,
Hey,
I do. Actually, no, I will
resemble
say that
Mark.
you resemble it. I will say though, Brett, the way you have been driving this season may not be too far away from your first race win. I think it could come by the end of 2026.
Still a little way off.
I think by the end of 2026 you'll be a race winner here in Split 2, but time will tell. But we're coming to this point of the season, and we welcome everyone in tonight as well for watching along with us, both on the Infinity Broadcasting and V8 Veterans networks as well. You can help support both by hitting the like button and subscribe to the bell icon as well on both channels. Find the Infinity Broadcasting channel over on YouTube as well as the V8 Veterans channel. You'll help support the Vets with Split 2, Split 3, Split 4 action if you subscribe to the Vets channel, if you subscribe to us over on Infinity Broadcasting. Not only supporting this series, but also the VRS Porsche Cup series as well as the High Side Motorsports Series 2. Some incredible US-based NASCAR Gen 6 action. Their second season is going to be coming to your screens in the next few months' time. They've still got 5 rounds to go in their 15-round season. It's going to be exciting times going ahead for those boys over in the US. As we have a look at our points quickly, Reese DeGoey leads the way in the championship. He has backed up his championship lead to go 2 rounds in a row now as the championship leader. Alex Kiddis in P2 has really been maximising his mid-season run of momentum. Simon Heddersheet as well, he's been sneaky all throughout, as has Shane Randall, although Randall has been probably one of the more consistent drivers out of this top 4 across the whole season alongside DeGoey. Both of those guys have been up there pretty much the whole season long. Phil Manuel in P5 at this stage of the season. Early run was great, mid-run wasn't so great, needs to try and maximise now at the back end of the championship. Gary Buckland, he's been sneaking about as well, as is Joel Oosterwald. Stephen Kokoschke, he's had a great run of form the last few weeks, could try and maximise tonight. He's showing good pace in practice. We'll see if he can maximise in qualifying as well. Yourself, Brett, at the back end of the top 10, and then Craig Friend as well is back there too. But ultimately, there's, I would say comfortably, there's probably 6 names at the top end of town that right now I think is carrying the momentum into a championship charge. Those being Reese DeGoey, Alex Kiddis, Simon Heddersheet, Shane Randall, Phil Manuel, and Stephen Kokoschke. They are the 6 names for me right now. If they have a strong round after tonight, they're going to go into Miami next week and into Circuit Gilles Villeneuve the week after, and those are going to be the names carrying some momentum into this championship battle. That's just the feeling I've got, Brett, at this stage.
Yeah, well, I mean, like you're saying, it's important that drivers out there, with 3 rounds to go, you need to start make things happen if you want to take this championship out. You've got to be there, and you've got to make things happen in the next 3 races. If you blink and you miss it, well, it could be your championship over. But you know, as you were saying before, consistency. There's a few people out there got some consistency, you know, and it could be their time, but time will tell. Time will tell, indeed, and we'll see how this championship wraps up across the next few rounds and throughout tonight too. As we said, we're hearing tonight to Suzuka. We're in the final third of the championship as well, round out this evening. 200k is 35 laps, and as I said, there's a bit of weather on the horizon too. The clouds are getting darker and darker overhead at this point. Miami GP circuit will debut next week. We currently don't have any B-roll or track map for that circuit, so hopefully we have some by next week. And then we go into the finale at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal. 200k is 46 laps as well. I'll draw you a picture. Send me a photo of an alligator. Sketch you something out. Send me a photo of an alligator, that'll do. But yeah, it's going to be a fun time across the next portion of this season as we head back to North America once again. There's already been a calendar put forward for next season as well, with some tasty circuits on offer. The number one I'm most excited for, Brett, if it does actually happen, is Long Beach, currently on the calendar for next season, so I'd be very excited if that does make a return once again. Having a quick look at our circuit here this evening. We haven't seen Suzuka for quite a few seasons here in the Vets, and it's always exciting when we get to come back here. We've really made a little home in Japan with really making home to circuits like Fuji Speedway and Okayama as well, which has previously held our championship finale back in season 24 when the championship battle between Halil Cesar and Brad Doble took place. So what was an all-time championship finish. We return to Japan this evening to this wondrous circuit here out at Suzuka once again.
It's a fantastic place to go racing. It's been used on the Formula One calendar now for many, many decades, and it all starts in our main straight and up towards the first corner at turn 1 and into second corner at turn 2. This is a tight section here. You're coming in, trying to hit the apexes 1, running it wide, and then trying to get a late apex at 2. If it does start to rain tonight, Brett, this is going to be a very difficult section of track because there'll be a lot of water pooling on the inside of the corner, which is going to really make it a one-line set of corners. Not only that, it's also going to mean that we could see some incidents where drivers are catching the AstroTurf on the outside, losing the rear end and spinning it round as well. They need to be cautious through here. Surus curve as well through 3, 4, 5, Gyaku bank at turn 6. This first little switchback section, not only in the dry is it tough, but as I said, if the moisture levels do go up tonight, this is going to be a really difficult first section of the circuit, which could see some incidents happening for some drivers out there.
Yeah, 100%. You know, a lot of load on those corners, left, right. You only need a little bit of moisture on there, and it could be left, right, spin. But you know, time will tell. I found it just a little. I mean, I couldn't get going through those corners there throughout my practice and stuff like that. Struggled through there a little bit, but there was plenty of fast times out there in practice. I'll tell you that right.
Well, as we then come up towards turn 7 and turn 8 at Nippo corner as well, you're just trying to tuck it in nicely on the inside, get a good run down towards Deadner curve at turn 9 and in towards
racist.
turn 10.
Sorry.
Oh, God. Getting down towards turn 9, this is often a good passing opportunity, but actually the better choice is to often at times just tuck in behind the car ahead of you and try and set yourself up well for the inside at 10. If you can't get it done quite there, then run up the hill through 110R and up towards Nissan brake hairpin at turn 11, where again we're likely going to see a couple of drivers lose the rear end tonight, get spun around as well. That'll be a hot place for action. Turn 12 and into 200R and up towards Spoon curve at 13 and 14. This is probably one of the more difficult parts of the circuit as well. This will often be where we see drivers make mistakes because they'll either miss the braking point and miss the double apexing of the corner, or they might carry a little bit too much speed, run it wide and then get caught out on the outside of the circuit as well. Really got to try and maximize mid-corner speed through here, maximize your run through it too, because that'll just set you up for the old motorcycle start straight and the run down towards the fast-paced 130R at turn 15, where again drivers can run wide, they can end up in the barrier, they can end up in dramas as well. Even if you've got the balls to, you can go for the move down the inside at 130R as well, but drivers still need to be on that edge of limit of grip limitations, because if you can't quite get it done there, you're wanting to get it done down at Hitachi Estemo curve for 16 and 17, formerly known as Casino, and then running it down through turn 18 and back on the main straight. Pit entry and exit tonight, not going to be that difficult. It's going to be quite easy actually to get in through and out of pit lane. It's an 80km/h pit lane traversal time. For my money, Brett, tonight, depending on how the weather gods go, I think a split stop may be the betterment of strategy, but if more drivers than none take a bigger fill, then taking just that little bit less than them could give you some good track position, but also put you on the better side of strategy as well. Crucially, you don't come out in some poor traffic though, because you can get caught up in it. It's tough to pass, great to battle, great to defend, and again, the weather could have a part to play here this evening. It was opened back in 1962, 5.8 Ks, 3.6 miles. This has been the same layout that they've used ever since 1962. It's not changed. 18 turns, figure 8 direction for the circuit out at Suzuka Prefecture here in Japan as well. But comes to the end of that, we head out towards the wondrous qualifying session that is about to get underway. It is dry out there at this stage, but there is some looming clouds in the distance that are just going to start to come in from the top end of the circuit, Brett. The first sort of places that we'll look tonight to see if we get rain is not only up at Spoon Corner, but as well down through 130R and even through the first sector as well. Because of how the circuit's actually positioned on the side of the hill, the weather's kind of coming into an easterly direction across the circuit. So we might get a bit of rain first up at Spoon, and then we'll likely feel it at the bottom of the hill as well down at turn 1. That's going to make it very difficult though to really work out what tyres you're going to need, because the westerly side of the track, so the main straight, final few corners, even a little piece of 130R, but then also up at Nissan curve and the Degners as well, they're not going to be quite as wet as what Spoon's going to be and what turn 1's going to be. So drivers are really going to have to balance that well. Taking wet tyres too early, that's going to be a massive mistake because they're going to overheat super quickly and you're going to lose all the advantage you took. Going too long, of course, is then going to force you to go too slowly and you're going to give up crucial time on track where you could have made it up in pit lane. So there's a lot can happen.
Oh, it's a big conundrum. A lot of different, thoughts and things like that. A lot of rolls of the dice. When to take wets or dries or whatever it is, so there's a lot to play out tonight. It'll be exciting to see the race unfold. Sitting on board with Kokoschki at the moment. I think he's on his warm-up, or is this his first out?
This is his first out at the moment. I believe it's claiming everyone is starting first because none of them have actually set a lap just yet. So we will wait until his lap is complete to show his name. At this stage of the session as well. But for Kokoschki, if he wants to put a championship challenge in after a tough couple of rounds in throughout this season, not a completely consistent season, but some great performances nonetheless, he really needs a race win tonight, does Kokoschki. If he does, that'll reignite his championship charge. It'll set him up well for Miami next week and Circuit Gilles Villeneuve as well. Ultimately, though, if Stephen wants to challenge the title proper, and go up against guys who'll be hoping to carry momentum out of tonight who are ahead of him, he probably needs 2 wins across the next 2 weeks. He needs to win tonight, probably needs to win at Miami to really hound the pressure onto them.
Another one I'll be interested to see tonight will be Jones after his couple of last races. We've seen him, and he powered through, had some fantastic speed in that car, great times, just wasn't able to do the conversion and complete the race as he would have liked. So it'll be interesting to watch. Keep an eye on Jones tonight.
Yeah, well, he's always a factor as he's just... It's not the way that he would have wanted the... the lap to have started. So that's ended that before it even... Quickly. Yeah, it did go south pretty quickly as we ride back with Kokoschki now as he comes up towards the Degners at turn 9 and turn 10 as well. And you can just see the real issue that's going to come about tonight, Brett, especially if the conditions get a bit greasier, sort of as the rain starts to fall. Yeah. The importance of avoiding the curbs. It's going to be a very difficult task to do because you rely so much on riding the curbs at Suzuka, being that it is both. It's really a hybrid circuit in a way of both a Formula One Grand Prix style circuit, but also a MotoGP style circuit as well. Of course, Japanese superbikes have run here for a long, long time. It has got an element of both about it, and the struggle with that is normally those circuits, normally bike circuits don't normally suit the supercar so well, although Phillip Island's fantastic as he does get a
just
twitchy.
noticed Kokoschki a little bit twitchy on their exit there, so that'll kill this lap a little bit for top end speed down this straight.
Yeah, so we'll see what time he puts on the board, but I think there'll still be some lap time in it for him, even if he completes it. And I think it's still good that he completes it as well, because it'll give him at least a benchmark that he can work from and just see where this lap time may actually place him. But he'll definitely want to try and get a completely clean lap in if he can do so. As he comes around the final corner now and up towards the start finish stripe, Ron Allen's gone to the top, 2:07. Kokoschki with a 5, even with the wiggle. Or 6.3, sorry, with the wiggle. Yeah, 6.3 with the wiggle. So still a solid lap time. Blanchard's gone to P2, what could have been for him last week, if not for the contact that had happened.
Alex Kiddis just had an off track too, so his first lap
it's counted. It has eventuated. It's counted. He's gone up to
sorry.
So his lap has actually been
sorry, it might have been an off track. Yeah, sorry, it would have been an off track after he completed that lap, and then he's just reset. Sorry, my bad.
So Halil Cesar will be wanting to put a good lap together as well. Really been a disappointing season, as he would name, though. Although going P3 at this stage, that's not too bad for him. We know how good Halil can be in the wet. Former race winner in wet conditions back at Jerez in season 24. P2 in the first wet race at Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache as well. So Halil is one to watch tonight, especially if this car starts at the top end, because we know that he's got pace in the wet conditions.
Well, a 6:05 is pretty good. He's going to reset back and have another crack at it.
Roy Clark as well.
And Pitts.
Yep, Clark's just coming through the Degners now. Wrong time.
You're right there,
I'm getting over this cold.
A bit better? Yeah.
I'm getting it better, thank you. Yes, much better now. I'm literally on probably the last day of my cough, so I'm hoping it can just kind of stay away for the rest of the race. That would be absolutely fantastic. Randall just trying to put a lap together here. I think he's actually had to reset initially. Yeah, he's resetting now actually. So I think he's made a mistake possibly at the back end of his original lap. So actually he's now going to complete the out lap here and then go for a proper run. So we may need to watch his lap time when he finally does complete one. Reese DeGoey, once again, a driver who needs to really maximise this evening, Brett. Could probably do with a race win at this point of the season as well. Hasn't had one. I don't believe. I will double check before I just say something that's completely wrong. So let me double check that before I do say that.
Anything I
has
say
not taken a win.
Could be right or wrong.
Has not taken a win.
Any time.
Has had, though, every top 10 finish he's had this season has been a top 5. So he's finished in the top 5 in every race that he's had a top 10 across the 7 races that have counted for him thus far, but yet to take a race win. The only drivers, by the way, in the top 5 have taken a win, Kiddis, Hedesheed, Manuel. Both Randall and DeGoey have not done it. And they're probably the two that mainly need to do it to continue to challenge for the title race. Both of them are two of the most
Hoffman
consistent drivers up there, as Hoffy's now gone up to 7. So that's a great lap from the SCR driver. Again, kind of just been out of form, out of sorts in the last few seasons, and he's just trying to resurge himself back up the order of where he's previously been. I believe Kiddis has been off track as well, and he's had to now reset. Boardman in his return after his week away last week, P12 at this stage in qualifying. Not too bad of a lap thus far for the Camaro driver, although just hooks the curb as the Goey goes up in the top 10. That's a write-off for Boardman this lap as the Goey goes to 6th place on that attempt. Randall's just up at turn 11 now at the halfway point of his attempt. He needs to try and get a lap time on the board. He's not got much time left here in qualifying, Brett.
No, our top 7 drivers, at the moment in the 06s. So Kokoschke, Fisher, Cesar, that's Damon, not Brett. Cesar, Blanchard, McKenzie, DeGoey, and Kiddis in the top 7, all in the 6s. And then we've got Brooke, Hoffman, and Clark rounding out the top 10 at this stage.
Also want to give a shout out as well to anyone out there who may not be able to watch with us live right now because they're currently taking part in the Bathurst 12-hour iRacing official special event. We want to wish you the best of luck in the end of your race and hope that you guys are going to finish out well. Obviously, that started earlier today, and they'd be into the final stint at this point, Brett, or coming up to the final stint. So we wish them the best of luck to the end of their race, and I hope that you guys finish well wherever you may be racing in amongst that field. Randall goes to P7 on his first proper attempt, just off the back of one of his rivals this season, Reese DeGoey. So that battle's going to be heating up. Jones yet to set a lap here tonight. We know he's got pace, Brett. He's really thrown away some race wins this season with some arguably really poor strategy calls in pit lane. Think about how many.
Chad sort of just moved up to 7.
He does, yes. Chad Varg up to P7. Think about how many race wins Michael Jones may have had this season if he'd not thrown it away in pit lane. He probably would have. He probably would have won 3 races this season if not for the pit lane strategy.
The pit lane, exactly, yeah. So we'll be interested. So keep an eye on Jones. Like over the next couple of rounds, or the rest of this season. Just keep an eye on Jones. Let's see what he can do. So let's see if we can get his act together with his pit stops. Let's see where he finishes coming through the final couple of turns. A little bit of a lock up there, bit of a squiggle.
Wasn't too bad. Probably just a slight bit of snap oversteer through the first of the casino corners. Cesar now to P2, 206.4 as Jones goes to 10th place. Right. So Stoyles sits 10th and Jones says, no, thank you, I'm going to take that position. But Cesar, what a resurgence of form for him up on the front row as qualifying has now come to an end for these drivers. Kokoschke, at the time he needs it, could get himself a race win here tonight as he'll start from pole position for the start of this race. It's not round 7. I always forget to change that, Brett. It's my biggest
Round 8.
crutch. Round 8 of season 26. And Stephen Kokoschky is starting on pole ahead of Halil Cesar on the front row of the grid. Damon Fisher, Chris Blanchard, the top 4. Scott McKenzie inside of the top 5. Championship leader Reese DeGoey starts out of P6. Chad Viger, Shane Randall will start in behind them, with Alex Kiddis and Michael Jones making up our top 10. Matt Stiles, Ben Brook will then start on the 6th row of the grid as we move our way back to Rick Viger and Andrew Hoffman, starting ahead of Roy Clark and Mick Clifton for the top 16. Brett Fisher, Ron Allen starting ahead of Todd Duggan and Joel Oosterval for the top 20. James Baldwin, Simon Hedesheed starting ahead of Brett Taylor and Scott McCune, with Pete Baxter and Derek Lovegrove starting ahead of Jeremy Bush, Brett Horsell, Sean Cullen and Matty Monday, with Scott Weston not setting a time in qualifying. He'll start from P31 on the grid, with a lot of work to be done at the back end of town. Of course, a couple of drivers had some round bans this week, one of which Bruce Tannick, although he was going to be away for this week anyway, so I'm not sure how that round band's going to get served, because he's supposed to he's supposed to sit with race control when you have a round ban, so I don't know if that would actually be counted or not. But yeah, Matty Parker as well with a round ban too this week as well.
One thing I noticed, the top 3 guys are only separated by, what was it, 1,000th of a second, was it? Was that right?
1,000th of a second, yes.
Yeah, and Halil and Damon were only separated by, only a very, very minute amount.
So, of course, we're currently sitting at 64% precipitation at this stage, and to explain what precipitation necessarily means, it means that is going to be the thickness if there is rain to fall. That is how heavy the rain could be when it falls, and actually how heavy the droplets are when they fall as well. Kokoschky has put this car on pole position for Südspeed and Racekraft Performance Centre, or as well as part of Synergy Sim Racing. 21 degrees ambient temperature tonight, 26 degrees track temperature. Again, if it rains, that will come down a fair bit. At the moment, the clouds are staying away, but there is some references. They're looming. There are some references that they could be coming in and around lap 10 to lap 15. Could be the time that we see some rain on the horizon, but it could even extend out a little bit further than that. Than what we may think. So critical lap tonight was roughly lap 7, so that could also offset some pit stops tonight too, with drivers anticipating the rain coming. They may actually pit a little bit earlier. But for Stephen Kokoschky, actually I appreciate Stephen sitting on his brakes. That's giving us that nice tail glide on the grid here. So thank you, Stephen, for doing that. Anyone else who gets pole, do it in the future. We want to see the glowing tail lights. Although I don't have any cameras from Miami, so we won't actually get the grid camera for it, unfortunately. But we'll wait for everyone to get themselves prepared and let the revs rise once again this season. It has been an all-timer in season 26, and it continues to change and continues to evolve into the future as well. And we want to give a massive shout-out to recently now retired from sim racing, former 7-time champion Scott Gamble, who announced his retirement from sim racing earlier this week. Well, tonight we race in the history of veterans once again as everyone is underway and down towards turn 1. Look at them all staggered 4 wide. In towards the braking zone at turn 1 they come. DeGoey and Blanchard are going for it here. That's Viger around McKinnis in the background as well. Multiple cars have had a contact in towards turn 1. You see McCune back there. Baxter's off as well, as Randall and Blanchard are battling away here through the S's, trying to fight their way forward as best they can at this point in time. Jones in behind them, as well as Stiles too. A little bit of a door. Blanchard's off the road and into the sand there. I think what we can say is, though, where was Randall supposed to go? He just keeps on pushing on, but Kokoschky, what a start. Remains in the lead, down towards the Degners. And he's got Damon Fisher, who's jumped Cesar off the racing start as well, now in P2.
That was a very commanding move there, though. That one too. Just Damon actually had their outside run onto turn 1 and managed to stick it on the outside. Cesar just looked like he just allowed that to happen a little bit. Probably just preserving a little bit of, argy-bargy early. And Damon's looking forward here. So Kokoschky already out to 0.8 and Damon out on 0.6 to Cesar. So interesting to see. This is lap 1. Here we go.
Well, it has already been... there's already just been an electricity in the air, bit of an intensifying aura about tonight's race, and that's what Suzuka can bring. The thunder that rumbles through the trees up towards 130R for the first time, and get a feel for it. Get a feel for the speed that they take into this corner. It is very Chase-esque down here. See a couple of moves being made. Rick Viger and Joel Ustervold.
Yeah.
That was a great little moment there.
It's that is a very interesting corner, that one. It is actually quite quick, and you've got to get it right. Otherwise, you go too wide and you'll get an off track.
See Ron Allen as well, currently up 6 positions in this race, just outside of the top 10. He's into P12 now, in behind Andrew Hoffman as they run it down towards turn 1 once again. There you can see just a glimpse of Andrew's car ahead of him in the Chubby Buns entries. A couple of cars are just struggling through turn 1.
Yeah, there was a few flicking in off tracks. Matty Monday, one of those. Matty Monday up 10 spots. He was 11 spots in the first lap.
What a start for Matty. He's already had a top-level race this season back at, I believe it was Watkins Glen earlier in the championship, but what a race start for Matty Monday tonight. Fishy Motorsports up 10 positions into P20. Yeah. Great effort to Matty there.
That's huge, yeah. And Chad Viger, the biggest loser at the moment, with minus 18.
Yeah, of course, there was that contact on lap 1 with Alex Kiddis down at turn 1. So we'll have to wait and see if there's a penalty come in the way of Alex or not. He now sits in behind James Boardman and Joel Oostervold. Both those guys up 3 positions now. So they've started to rise up the order together as they're in behind Rick Viger. And yourself, Brett, too, just behind this train here of Duggan, Clifton, Allen. And then the further train up ahead as well, just up towards the top 10. But for Stephen Kokoschke, it's a race lead at this stage. And if we look at formerly Blinky Bill, now Stable Sally in Damon Fisher, this new internet for him is it's paying off dividends.
Stable Sally.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I tell you what, that gap hasn't done anything huge there. Like down at 0.5, but Cez has closed the gap there on Damon. So Cez is being a bit of a threatener on Damon right about now. So yeah, he's coming back at him. He's just going to say, hey, I know you got past me on that first turn, but I want this position back.
He continues to just
final couple of turns there.
Continuing just to massage the pressure. A little bit of a slide from Damon as he continues to follow Stephen Kokoschke here. But again, though, very early on in this race, only lap 3 of 35. Fastest lap of the race for Scott McKenzie, 2:07.04. So some great pace from the race winner last week at Sebring, who took what was an all-time victory after a chaotic end to that one. As cars are into pit lane now. Brett Fisher, Joel Oostervold, Sean Cullen, Scott Weston, Chad Viger, Pete Baxter, maybe anticipating the rain to come a bit earlier than what we think, and just trying to offset themselves into pit road here. But I think these cars should be pretty safe to go to lap 10, but this is definitely worth a gamble back further in the field, especially if there's a safety car around about lap 7 when that critical lap is.
Well, my thoughts on this were, like, the rain was fairly imminent, like from what we could see on the radar or the predictions and stuff like that. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. But I just wanted to get myself out of traffic because as soon as that rain comes down, it's, bedlam. When, vision, which we might see later on if it rains, vision is pretty hard racing behind someone. So Kokoschke into turn. Oh, Damon, a little bit of a poke on the inside there.
He's just continuing to massage the pressure once again. You can see the Mustang dominance at the front of the field. Yeah. Out of the top 10 cars, only 3 of them are Camaros, rest are Mustangs up here at this stage.
What a difference for the people racing around Damon, though, too, to actually be able to see a stable car on track. So
I know.
Hopefully this is a benefit for everybody.
I think it is. It'd be definitely a benefit for the likes of Cesar and McKenzie right now. They're comfortable sitting behind Fisher as you're right on board with him up towards 130R. And what it means is it's not going to allow Kokoschke to run away, as previously with the blinking that Damon's had. It would normally allow Stephen just to run away because they'd be too scared to try and get close to Damon or even try and pass him because they won't know where he would be. So it is helping them now on an overall scale, not even just on a small scale. As well at this point of the race.
Damon was quick through those last couple of chicanes there. He's come out fighting there, and he's closed that gap right up to about 1.1 and actually having a big look on the inside. That was a big look.
It was a massive lunge to the inside at 1, but wasn't quite willing to dive into the deep end just yet, was Damon Fisher. As Mick Clifton now into pit lane for his first stop in this race, as well as they come through the first few corners once again. Andrew Hoffman is already up 3 spots, by the way, into P11 tonight, so this is a great start from him in this one here. Again for Hoffy, I mean, we've spoken about this at nauseum previously, how the level of competition has gone up, and unfortunately for Hoffy, he's kind of stagnated recently. We want to see him do well again, but he's got to try and push himself now to get to the next level, because ultimately, Brett, the split 2 that once was when Hoffy was in between split 2 and split 1 is no longer. This is literally now split 1 point. This is now, previously split 2 was split 1.5. This has really become split 1.25. It is that close to split 1 level that you've got to try and push every single week to make up something and realistically try and keep yourself as neat and tidy as possible, as well as Shane Randall has now just gotten back past Michael Jones after he's made a mistake down at turn 11. So now he looks to chase down championship leader Reece DeGoey. Could this be the sight that we see out of Montreal in the final round, Brett, with these two battling for the championship possibly? Could it very well may be. I mean, Hedeshie down the order tonight, P19. Kiddis is now down the order in P16 as well. So both of those guys are dropping points at the moment. No Phil Manuel tonight either, so he's having to take a drop round. Realistically, all Shane has to do now is beat Fisher. Reece to gain points, as Fisher's just lost the position to Cesar at 130R, and now the 5 car goes back up into second.
Yeah, well, there we go. A bit of battling early on for these top runners. Another one I wanted to point out too is Roy Clark up 6 spots into 9th position. So that's a great little start for him. He can use, use that to build on throughout this race. Cesar with actually a faster lap than anybody in that top group for that last lap around.
He's doing a top effort is Halil Cesar at this point, and I agree. I think Roy's doing a great job tonight. Ben Brooks running a bit wide. Sean, I'm going to have to disagree with you, unfortunately. I think the level of competition in Vets has gotten better over the last 15 or 13 seasons. If you go back and watch the level of competition that it was back in season 14 and 15 when Hoffy was in between split 1 and split 2, it was a significantly different level of skill than what it is now. Hoffy has had some poor luck too, but ultimately it has gotten a lot tougher. The level of pace and competition, level of drivers has gone up as well. We've gone from 150 drivers up to 200, so that spreads the skill spread a lot more as well. So ultimately, drivers are gonna be pushed down slightly in comparison to what they previously were in other seasons as well. And we've been running 4 splits now for a little over a year, Brett. And Hoffy's kind of been sitting in the same position the last year and a bit as well. This has really been where he's been running, is sort of mid to sort of upper mid pack of split 2. That's really where he's been seated, and that's what. And if you put it on the grand scale, when it was 3 splits, that's where he would have been classified. Is in the similar position. It just so happens that everyone kind of gets pushed down a little bit because of the amount of drivers.
And as we've talked previously too, Hamish, that this split has got so much closer. Like the racing, the track times. I mean, you even look at that ladder out there now. Like there's between Matt Stoyles and then Matt Stoyles in. Damien Fisher's just gone past Cesar again. Well, there's a bit of biffo, not biffo, but you know what I mean. There's a bit of I'll take the lead on this one, you take the lead on the next one, sort of thing. So these guys are battling it out pretty hard. This is going to allow Kokoschki to pull away a little bit, which it has. He's about 1.2 seconds in front of these guys now, so they probably need to just chill out a little bit. Mackenzie in the box seat there too of Cesar, so he's just sitting there waiting for somebody to see what's going to happen. But what I was going to say before, that top section, well, just all the times have come down. Over the whole split. I think was it last week, a week before, there was only a second over 32 drivers, which is amazing.
Well, it's just as tight this week as well. Once again, as more and more drivers are continuing to battle now, we can see Rick Viger being put under pressure here from Boardman with Kiddis in behind them as well. Heddersheed at this stage has got Brett Taylor in behind him as well as Matt Monday and Brett Horsell as well.
Lovegrove in the pits. So 6 laps of 35, or on lap 6 of 35. Every now and again, the sun's out there at the moment, but there's a couple of sections on the track. Oh, we've got
Cullen and Viger.
Sean Cullen and Viger,
yeah, both these guys having a bit of a bingle back here at turn 1. Get a bit heated up.
Oh, you nearly had a look on the inside then.
He did nearly have a look on the inside. Wasn't quite willing to go for it just yet. As Chad is just currently down the order here tonight. Now down 21 positions from where he started this race after the unfortunate start on lap 1. Oh, it's a great shot when we get to see a car go through 200R as they're coming down the straight. Oh my God, it's fantastic. But for Kokoschke, just trying to hang on at the top end of town right now and keep himself in a solid position. They have clawed him back just a little bit here.
Yeah, it's under a second again. So it was out to 1.2 seconds, but it's now under a second. So it's a bit seesawy at the moment. There's a few laps. Says still on the heels of Damon. Coming down that straight like it's down to 0.7. And then the next little group of Jones, Randall and DeGoey.
There's Andrew Hoffman now into pit lane as well. So Hoffy will be just trying to push on here. Could be on for a top 10 tonight if things go his way. Just has to try and maximise his strategy calls once again.
Simon Heddersheed just doing the fastest lap of his race that last time around with the 2:08.797.
A little bit of pace to be found for Simon here tonight. If it does get wet, watch for the Kiwis. They're used to driving on wet roads, so Simon could find some pace out there when it starts to slicken up a little bit. Could maybe get himself up towards the top 10 if things can go his way. But for someone who claimed he wasn't going to be here for the whole season, he hasn't missed a race yet, Brett, so... I'm beginning to no longer believe that he could be a championship competitor, being that he's now been here for the first 8 rounds of the season. And even if he misses next week, well, even if he misses next week's race, he's still within a chance. All he would have to do then is race in the last round. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's doing a great job at this point in time.
Joel Osterwald taking and Scotty Weston taking the most amount in pits. I'll repeat that again. Derek Lovegrove taking the most at the 44.45 seconds, and then 38.9 and a 38.8 for Joe Osterwald and Scotty Weston. So, and then the rest of the guys there putting it at 24.
I would say that's probably a bit long for Derek, especially this early on in the race as well. I don't really see the point in taking 44 seconds worth of fuel, because that's basically that's not leaving him enough fuel to cover tyres on the next stop, and ultimately he's probably wasted seconds in pit lane, which if anyone who knows about racing, wasting seconds is very, very crucial. As the race leader's coming into pit lane now, Kokoschke and Fisher's in as well. Cez has gone with them, so is McKenzie. DeGoey's going to keep on going. Randall's into pit lane now as well. Jones has kept going too, so could this be a crucial stop at this point of the race? Her right on critical lap. Remembering though, these guys need 2 compulsory stops to get these cars home. So first stops are now coming in. We'll see who jumps out of pit lane first.
Well, DeGoey would take that extra point, that bonus point for leading the lap, 100%. That'll help him out just a little bit.
Pit lane, we love it when it heats up, Brett, because this is now maximum pressure stuff too. We also noticed in the background, Horsell, Brooke, Boardman, Blanchard, they've all also now joined the pit road too, as has Pete Baxter. So all of these guys in the pit lane now. Kokoschke drops, so does Damon.
27.
What about Halil? When does he drop? He drops now. Brooke has just dropped. He's actually about to jump Randall in pit lane too. And they've all jumped. Scott McKenzie, who's taking a significantly longer stop than them. So that is fairly crucial in terms of Shane Randall's race. But importantly, they've come out ahead of Andrew Hoffman whilst taking a longer stop. Randall with a significant advantage over these 2 cars. He's taken a 30-second stop, whilst Brooke took a 26.3 seconds. Hoffman's 24.9. So they've both just about split their stops, but Randall's taken slightly more.
Interesting to see that both the Infinity Motorsport cars taking just over a 30-second stop. I wonder where that information came from.
So did Bob. Boardman took just a little bit less than them as well, so he's probably either saved a bit of fuel, so he hasn't actually taken as much, or he's just not quite gotten the number right on the same as theirs just yet. So they all seem to be on a very similar strategy here tonight as well. But for Kokoschki, he's come out ahead of this pack once again. But now we've got to watch for De Goey, because this could be dictated by how short his stop is, knowing that Kokoschki's was 27.5 seconds. Now, he was within probably 3 to 4 seconds of Kokoschki before Stephen came into pit road. So we'll have to see how this now plays out for Reese, and if he makes the right choice. The problem for him is, though, he doesn't want to go too long, because then he's going to inevitably lose time to Stephen whilst he has clean air and fresh tyres on board that car. As Todd Duggan and Rick Weiger come in. So a good pit stop for those guys is needed at this point, just to try and maximise again some positioning on track. Track positioning is going to be key tonight across both the pit stops. So balancing it out correctly is going to pay you out well. Taking a short stop early, probably not going to work quite as well, Brett, but definitely taking that little bit extra or sitting on the split stop is going to be a better choice of pit stop accoutrement, we may say, in terms of a strategy game that can be played here tonight.
Also, Michael Jones on that last lap, the fastest lap of his race of the 2:07.677. So he come out firing after his pit stop.
He's done.
Oh, he hasn't pit stopped. Sorry. Just look at the SDK and it'll tell me exactly what's going on. But he's done the fastest lap of his race anyway. So.
Well, we see De Goey being pressurised here by Michael Jones, and the beauty of that earlier stop for Kokoschki, Fisher, Cesar, Brooke, Randall. If these guys begin to battle now before they take the pit stop, Brett, it's only going to help the other guys, because they're going to be able to run cleanly and chase them down, whilst these guys are starting to have a bit of a tiff, as Randall's just starting to pull away from Hoffy now and continuing to apply some pressure here to Ben Brooke in their battle for what could be corrected P4 on the road after the pit stop cycle has been completed.
So if I was Jones at the moment, and I know he's quick, but if I was Jones, you'd probably want to just sit behind De Goey at the moment and just plug away. If you're, don't get too desperate. Don't take a challenge unless you think that he's holding you up too much.
As we come in the final corner, De Goey's going to come in. Jones is going to keep going, so he wants to get himself an extra point for leading a lap. So we now need to see where De Goey's actually going to exit pit lane here in comparison to those other guys that have already come in.
Lap 10 of 35.
If anyone... No worries, Sean. Thanks so much for watching with us. We hope to see you next week once again. Reese De Goey into pit lane now. So this is pretty crucial. So if there was anyone who could take a shorter stop and try and take track positioning, it could be Reese here, just to try and jump this top 5, get out ahead of them and push on. But ultimately, with where they are on the circuit, I don't think that's going to happen at this point. But he could jump the likes of Cesar, Brooke and Randall with the correct stop time. 22 seconds was the stop for De Goey. So it's a significantly shorter stop than any of those guys that have already pitted. So Fisher and Kokoschki come past, and he's come out ahead of Cesar. But crucially, Cesar is within 8 seconds of him, so he should jump him once again come that next pit stop a bit later on in the race.
Fisher doing the fastest lap of the race too, with a 2:06.492. So he's got that 266 Mustang hooked up, and he's pushing forward.
He's running very, very well at this stage, as Damon Fisher. We'll be right on board with him through the S's section and up towards Nippo Corner here at turn 8. And again, just continuing to pressure Kokoschki. And look at the cloud cover up towards Spoon Corner, and you can see how grey the clouds are starting to become. The rain is coming, and you can see it just folding on through. Look at the differential there, but you can see the blue sky and the clouds that are just starting to echo over the circuit now. They're looming in the foreground.
They're definitely looming.
And you can see where it's coming from as well.
Wide from Kokoschki, unless that's
very wide.
Line, but geez, that was wide.
That was very, very wide for Kokoschki. So I think we know where the rain's going to come first, and it's going to come up here at Spoon Corner, because we can see where the dark grey cloud cover is starting to come in. And if we're going to see water on track, this is where it's going to be, up here at the top of the hill.
Stoyles in pits, Jones in pits.
Kiddis in as well.
Kiddis in pits.
These guys are all in. Jones aims it for pit entry. Pit exit.
Okay. Yeah.
Not against the rules to aim it for pit entry. Or pit exit, I should say.
Oh, Kiddis has done something similar.
Slightly similar. So, pit lane
and he was in the background here Monday. He's done the same thing.
Matt Monday aiming for the fast lane at this point.
I'll put that in your memory banks.
There goes Kokoschki and Fisher past the guys who have just come into pit lane. So again, Michael Jones taking a longer stop here tonight. And has he thrown this thing away by doing so once again? It's a 38-second stop. So he has actually left himself enough time to cover tyres, Brett, smartly. So he is learning week in and week out that he needs to leave enough to cover tyres. But he's going to come out behind Boardman and this giant train of cars. And the problem now for Jones is he is buried in the field. And with this circuit being so difficult to pass at, this is going to hurt him massively now. This is the problem with getting buried at a circuit where you can't make overtakes, because ultimately you can never really make up what you've lost to try and gain something on the time clock.
Yeah.
Right, with Mick Clifton at this point as well. He's trying to chase down Kiddis, who's just come out of pit lane. He's in behind Scott McKenzie at this point in time as well. So both those guys have buried themselves just a little bit. Brett, you're doing quite well, up one position at this stage. Rick Viger and Todd Duggan in behind you.
Going all right. Yeah, just trying to tick the laps away. Wasn't overly confident with the track this week, but yeah, just plug away. Roy Clark, Simon Hershey and Scotty McCune are the only three cars that haven't pitted yet.
And for Roy Clark, continuing to push on here. Will he come into pit lane now? He does.
Yeah.
And now watch for Hedeshita and McCune. They're getting out to the extension of the fuel tanks. And really just pushing the extent of the fuel tank to the maximum point. McCune in as well. So final pit stops for the first scheduled stop of this race. We will now see Stephen Kokoschki take back the race lead when he comes around the final corner and surpasses pit lane. Damon Fisher.
Move on Benjamin Brook.
Yep. Damon Fisher, Reese DeGoey are now our current podium sitters. Randall, as you said, has gotten past Brook. Stoyles is in there too. Then there is Cesar. So how's this going to play out for our top five? So Cesar remains in the 5. Clark's just leaving pit lane now. So Randall is going to get past him, and that is a top 5 position for Randall now at this point of the race. And crucially, he needs these top 5s at the end of the season, needs some podiums, needs his first race win ever in Vets if he wants to become Split 2 champion this season. But Reese DeGoey is going to be a hell of a challenger to topple heading into the final 2 rounds of the championship, especially if Randall can't beat him on the road here tonight. It's going to make it even harder for him if he can't gain points on him.
And DeGoey in the last lap did the fastest lap of his race with the 2:06.730, so flying.
Absolutely
like it was
flying right now.
Nearly a second and a half quicker than the other cars out on track and around him at the moment.
There's Cesar. That's the gap to the top 3 as they come up and around turn 11 and towards 200R. So that is the gap between them. And that is the gap that Cesar has to try and chase down to our race leaders here. Lap 12 of 35. So we are etching closer and closer to the halfway point of this race. Oh my God, look at that. Wild through 200R. What mechanical entry. And watch them come down the straight out of Spoon. Look at this speed that these guys are carrying. Unbelievable. And up through.
Crazy section of track.
It is. And I mean, even 130R as well.
The tree's blowing a bit harder there too.
Yeah, the wind is starting to pick up now.
Tree's blowing a bit harder. Yep.
We're up to 67% precipitation. 21 kilometers per hour is currently the wind speed. About a 3:28 pressure rating at the moment on the radar. So it is just beginning to build here as we're about 7 minutes away from 9 a.m. local time here in Japan. And the rain was projected originally at 8:45. It was then kind of extended out by the meteorologists out towards 9 a.m. So we're probably only a good 10 minutes away from it, Brett, before it's starting. How heavy it is off the get-go, well, that's another thing, and that will determine how soon they come into pit lane. And that then begs the question of, have they picked the strategy right? Have you put enough fuel in to get to the point that you're pitting at the right time for fuel and wet tyres, or have you set yourself too short? Doesn't matter if you set yourself too long, you can always come in earlier, but if you set yourself too short, it's going to be a bit harder to push it out as far as where the rain is.
Forcing your hand a little bit. Damon chasing on the back of Kokoschka here, down to 0.2, 0.3 there for a second. So these boys doing a great job out in front, but as we know, like with Cesar and Randall in the 30-second stop, DeGoey's going to lose out at the moment to Cesar with a, what's that, a 7-second deficit?
So, a 5.5 second deficit.
Yeah, he's up.
With a,
he's
with a 7.4 second deficit in pit lane, so he's going to drop position to Cesar when he pits.
Drop, yeah. He might stay out in front of Randall. No, he should stay out in front of Randall. Damon's done a 2.5 seconds, so he needs 5 seconds out on Cesar or Randall.
Which he's currently got.
So to cover his. Yep. So if he stays status quo there, to go. Having a look,
he let him go.
What's happened there?
Yeah, he didn't want to fight him too hard for it. I think he knows that DeGoey's taken a shorter stop, and he wasn't willing to fight him too hard for it. That's a smart play, knowing that he will jump him in pit lane. But that has lost them crucial time now. Back to Cesar.
Yeah, that puts. Well, that means that Cesar at the current place where he's at now might come out pretty much exactly on Cesar or behind at this point. So it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds, unless he can get himself tucked back up onto the back of DeGoey and keep pushing forward to Kokoschka.
We love a strategic chase down, and we love a strategy. There are two strategies which are so different that can lead to that strategic chase down as well. Bit of mid-pack madness currently happening here. Kiddis is battling away with Ron Allen. They've got Andrew Hoffman up ahead of them and Scott McKenzie pulling up the tail as well. So Kiddis has now offloaded McKenzie through this. Damon had a slowdown at that point, so again, wasn't worth defending it. And the rain is here, Brett. The first few drops are coming in.
It is rain.
Yep. And remember we said the first few drops were going to come in up at Spoon and down around about turn 1 through turn 6. So the rain is coming in now at the first few moments here. So we need to watch for drivers to come into pit lane too early or too late. Pitting right now, not quite worth it. They probably need to go another 3 or 4 laps before it is beneficial for them to come in on the wets. Otherwise, they're going to overheat them and they're not going to get the advantage of picking the tyre changeover correctly.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. This can make or break a lot of people's races right about now.
This is crucial that they get it right. Absolutely crucial.
Keep an eye on the times too, the lap times, see if they start and drop off at all. Well, it might only be raining
changeover
on certain sections of the track as well.
It is. So it's only raining and it's spotty at the moment. There's certain sections that it's not raining just yet. So it won't be too long until the rain is all over the circuit. But the crossover point is roughly 2-minute 11s. Is roughly the crossover point. So we're still about 3 seconds of lap time away from that happening as Damon Fisher's looking up the insider to go in now for turn 1. Can he get this done? Not quite deep enough. Can he run deep enough for you? Damon Fisher, can you get the job done? Not quite yet. Has to tuck back in and go for it again.
The Shark's taking some bites.
He is indeed. Got some new internet put in into his coral. And And now he is...
New confidence.
Well, it's not...
Go. He
well, it's
had
not
a bit of run
fibre...
on to go there too.
Well, it's not fibre optic cable he's got coral fibre cable at this point, so it's making him go even better inside the
Coral
water.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm with you. Sorry. Wow. But yeah, you can definitely see he's chasing Degoe hard here, so he's not... At this stage, he's not afraid of the precipitations coming down at this point. He's not being afraid of that at all. He's still putting on an attack. Down to 1.8 there for a second. Let's see who comes around the turn here. Gets an exit.
And so what's also going to be a very
laden.
tough... What's also going to be a very tough marker now, Brett, as well, is the greasy conditions that can begin to form as the water starts to come down. It's not only tough on the slick tyres, it's tough on cold, wet tyres as well when it's greasy. It's almost like you're driving on ice. And that's going to be the big challenges.
Damon on a big
my
run.
God, Damon. So close to getting past, but couldn't quite get there. And this is starting to pressure Degoe now. And this is beginning to hurt him a little bit.
Looks like it's still dry, this section of the track. Or it stopped raining in this section of the track. Now it's back on again.
Now it's back off again, but there's a little bit of spray starting to form down here.
Yeah.
So it's just starting to form. You can see where the dry line is just forming as well. Bit loose off of Casino for Fisher. And now it has to push on once again to lap 16 of 35. And
So
there you
time's
see
there
Cesar is looming. He's gained now a second on them from this battling, Brett. This is working out well for him. As Brooke,
Benjamin
Stoyles,
Brooke,
Clark,
Matty
McKenzie
Stoyles
are all
and
in.
Clark in.
I think they're too early.
In. Yep.
I think they're a lap or two too early here, Brett, in my opinion. So they're going to have to be so cautious out of pit lane. Oh, Brett, what are you doing? Brett Taylor in as well.
Hey. I only had, like, there was a bit of spray coming off the back of the tyres. I just didn't want to get caught out on slicks and go for a whoop-de-doo. But anyway, and I thought, it gives me a chance to warm up a bit if it's still raining down hard. So might not be the right choice, but you do what you do.
Right now,
stick with what you got.
This sounds like a punchline to a joke for us, Brett. A Kiwi and a fish walk into a bar while it's raining, and who's going to come out on top? Well, both of them would be loving the wet, and both of them will be relishing in it as well. And in fact, Kokoschki is struggling to run away from him at this point, as he's just dropped a little bit of time through turn 11. So they are starting to chase him down.
Seeing a couple of wiggles.
Yeah. Yeah,
seeing a couple of wiggles. I think the thing was for myself, I wasn't super confident with the track. I just didn't want to overreach, if you will.
Yeah.
Kokoschki just flashing up a couple of off tracks there, so he must have been running a little bit wide. Damon's close right back up and go again. Simon Heddersheet had a little off there for a second as well.
Fisher is
continuing.
He's continuing to apply it right now.
The weather hasn't phased him at all. Still attacking.
See as well that Kiddis is now continuing to attack. Andrew Hoffman up towards 200R or 130R. He's not quite able to put the move on him at this stage. The spray's just starting to get a little bit bigger now.
Wipers are starting to go. So time for Kokoschki 2:10.4, and for Reese to go 2:10.3, Damon at 2:10.1. So they're starting to get into those higher mid to 2:10s. And there's even a Randall of the 2:11. So we're starting to get in those 2:11s. Could be any moment.
Could be at the changeover point now. So Hoffy and Clifton are in. See how well this pays off for these guys. A couple of drivers are still struggling further back. Chad Viger with a bit of damage on the front of his car at this point of the race. A little bit of work to be done here tonight for himself.
Lap 17 of 35.
See Lovegrove on the back now of Ben Brook, who has already taken his second stop here tonight. So he's on the wet tyres, but you can just see how unstable they are right now. He can't quite get the temperature into them. Mix that with the greasy conditions that are currently on the circuit.
Randall in. Or was it Randall? No, who was that coming in?
That was Lovegrove in. Hoffman's in as well. Oosterwol's in.
Yeah, sorry.
Hoffman with with 34.51 second stops. That's significantly longer stop now in comparison to others. As Scott McCune's had a wild run off the road. And this is up at Nippo Corner. So drivers are starting to make mistakes here. Sorry, that was Heddersheed there. Yeah, Simon Heddersheed.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think McCune went off with him.
Chad Viger just flashed it there as well.
So drivers are struggling. And the problem now down at the Degners is with all of this debris that's now been brought on the road, mixed that with the water, it's going to become a very slippery situation for those drivers down through one of the fastest double right-handers all around the world in terms of world motorsport. The Degners are super fast-paced, super tough, and I think these guys are going to come in now because you can just see how slow they're having to run through the Hitachi chicane. Yep.
If they don't come in, this is a mistake. This is going to cost them big time.
Fisher's in. DeGoey's kept going.
DeGoey stayed
That's
out.
a big mistake. I think he's gone one lap too long. Cesar's in now. Randall, surely he's got to come in. He does. What does Kiddis do? Kiddis keeps going. Another mistake. Ron Allen in. We suspect Todd Duggan to join them. He does. So now we'll see the true gain of Halil Cesar from that pit stop strategy against Fisher and Kokoschki. And there's Randall popping in the box as well.
Yeah, and we're getting some solid rain. A lot of cars coming in now, so this will be interesting to see how we're going to play out the second stage of this race.
Kokoschki out. Sorry, just quickly. Oh, Cesar has jumped Fisher in the stop. He has jumped him.
We thought that might have been the case.
Oh, Randall's just dropped as well. Randall's also got him. So both Cesar and Randall have jumped Damon Fisher in the stop.
He's put in 32.6. It was probably a bit much.
Well, Jones has also managed to fight his way back up to P7 now. Now we got to try and see. Well, let's see how wet it is up here, up at turn 11. So race leader Reese DeGoey, and you can just see how much he's having to nurse it through here.
He's tiptoeing.
Yep, absolutely tiptoeing. Kiddis is in a similar scenario. I think this is a massive mistake from them. A massive one. Crucial as well for the championship. They cannot afford dice rolls like this so late in the season.
Look at all the debris on that corner there too, so there's a lot of people having excursions off there.
Reese asking, did Damon forget to put wets on? I don't think so, because it shouldn't have put him up again for wets if he did. He might have. Well, maybe Damon can answer that for us in the chat. If he did. Oh, double drop, okay. So he might have, so he's either forgotten to, or he's done it at the last moment as he's into okay, yeah, so put dry tyres on. He had to go up on the jacks again, so that's a big mistake.
Right.
A big mistake for Damon Fisher.
Oh, that is crucial, isn't it? Wow, that's a huge mistake.
Yep.
And that goes to explain why that extra time
as DeGoey is in now.
Showed up on the timing tower.
So Reese DeGoey in. Where is Kiddis? Brett Horsell has had an off track further back. He's dropped bulk time and positioning. This is down at the bridge, so that's why he's going a bit slower. Kiddis is now in. So where does DeGoey come out after going one lap longer than we believe he should have, Brett, because of the loss of lap time?
Interesting to see. Isn't it amazing there? Those few little mistakes. Damon making
Kokoschki.
an error. DeGoey making an error. Kiddis making an error. Can cost them a lot here.
There is Cesar as well. So they've both got past him. Does Randall get past him?
Exiting.
He's exiting now. There's Randall. So he's jumped Randall at this point. So that's worked out well for him. He's still stayed ahead of Randall. Kiddis is only just exiting now. But DeGoey has gotten away with it. Still on the podium and crucially ahead of one of the main four rivals against him this season, battling for the championship.
It was a long stop for Kiddis too, wasn't it? Where's Kiddis?
Oh, he's off the road. He's off the road down at turn one. Kiddis has made a mistake coming out of pit lane. Kiddis has made a massive mistake coming out of pit lane. And that has dropped him all the way back. Is the tower crumbling for Kiddis in his championship challenge this season?
He's had a few incidents this tonight so far.
He
like
has.
Early in the race,
And
got tangled up there.
We've mentioned how good he's been in the midway point of the season and how crucial that is, but it doesn't mean you can throw it away at the end. You've got to try and carry the momentum. And and tonight, it only takes one poor
Todd
race.
Duggan dropping a little bit.
Oh, Todd is...
A couple of spots.
Where is he? Okay, he's just going a bit
two
slower through the
spots.
Degners. Okay. So, but yeah, this is big though for the championship. If Kiddis finishes
huge.
back here, this is a massive loss of points as Chad Varga and Scott McCune have now had contact up at Nippo Corner.
Rejoin safely. Away we go.
So they continue on. But everyone is just trying to tiptoe these cars in the worst of conditions. Roy Clark tucked up right behind Matt Stoyles. And let's get a look at this view, because I guarantee you this is going to be maximum white cloud in front of him from the spray.
You can see him just tentative on the throttle there. Not too
It's
bad
not
at
too
this
bad,
stage.
but
I have seen a lot worse.
I think it could get worse by the end of it, though.
Yeah. But that is a fast corner. Fast corner when you can't see 100% of everything. Here we go.
And I think an interesting talking point that's being brought up in the chat right now, Brett, is changing the throttle mapping to suit the wet conditions. It's one of those little driving tidbits that drivers have picked up now ever since throttle mapping became a thing in the Gen 3 car, of adjusting it to the circuit's likeness, but also adjusting it for the weather as well, and adjusting it for wet weather compared to dry weather. It's one of those crucial things that can make or break your race if you're just able to perfect it, as Damon Fisher, by the way, has now gotten past Shane Randall for P4. Minor off track for Randall's given up the position.
That was, okay.
So
I was just going to go through Kikoshi out in front at the moment, with Cesar about 8 seconds out in front. Degoe about 8 seconds out in front of him. And then 3 seconds back, just 3.5 seconds back to Damon Fisher, and then a 1.5 seconds back to Randall. That is the top 5 at the moment. Jones is still in 6th spot at the moment, chasing down Randall.
he hasn't necessarily thrown away a result tonight from his longer strategy.
No.
He's up 4 at the moment. I think luckily he wasn't at the front of the field when he came into pit lane, obviously. He was really only up there because of the pit stops. So he's probably been helped by the earlier stop tonight. I think if that actually gone longer, that may have hurt him more than with drivers being forced to come in earlier for tyres thanks to the wet weather.
So let's hopefully he can finish. Oh, off track from Degoe.
Oh, Degoe!
Degoe's around.
Degoe's had a spin down at the hairpin.
Wow.
And he was all on his own, remember. He had massive gap in between him and the cars around him. That's one we'll have to check out. That's one we'll have to check out in the post-race highlights. This is huge. Kiddis is also off.
Kiddis is also dropping.
So 2 of the championship contenders with crucial mistakes here on lap 20 of 35. Absolutely huge.
Wow. Well, the rain in Japan is throwing a lot of things at these drivers at the moment, and championship replications. Championship. I can't even say it now. Ramifications.
There you go.
Are happening on track now. This is really Bush just having a bit of a drama there.
The big gainer out of this, and he's now got to maximise tonight, is the 501 of Shane Randall. He has to maximise the performance with both of those cars behind him, as well as Simon Hedesheed. This will jump him quite possibly up to P2 in the title race if he can get a couple more spots, and those guys can drop some more as well.
Geez, that's going to hurt Degoe. He's thrown that away at this point. I mean, can he come back? He still can come back. There's still a number of laps to go, so it's not over it, done and dusted. Anything can happen, and does happen. Matt Stoyles just being passed by Roy Clark.
You see that spray significantly gotten worse now on the main straight.
Especially when you get into train of 3 or 4 cars, a plus, which is a lot of wiggling going around there behind. So Todd Duggan in front of Degoe, darting around a bit on the track there.
Thought that Roy's doing a good job here tonight. Halil Cesar, though, has had to run off the circuit down at the Degners. He's trying to chase down Stephen Kokoschki. That's cost him time. There's a lot of ungluing happening for some drivers now tonight, as Cesar's just trying to nurse this thing around. We're going to sit with some of these battles for the next few laps as we hear from our amazing sponsors at Racecraft Simulations. That's a big blink there for Roy Clark. Unfortunate for him, but if you're over in the WA or Perth area, head over to 16 Grogan Road, Perth Airport, chat to John and the team. Check out some of the rigs they've got on the floor, and if you've got the spare dosh, buy one of them PT1s. It looks absolutely spectacular. Don't go anywhere. The rain is here. The action continues at Suzuka as we hear from our wonderful supporters over on Racecraft Simulations, based out of Perth, Western Australia. Don't go anywhere. Back very soon. Welcome back to the Racecraft Simulations V8 Veterans for the Split 2 action here tonight out at Suzuka Circuit for Season 26, Round 8. As the water is continuing to fall and the moisture levels continue to go up. It is currently Stephen Kokoschki leading the way, looking for his first race win of the season, with a tenacious Halil Cesar chasing him down in P2. Who is just trying to maintain some sort of pressure, with Damon Fisher in P3, Shane Randall in P4 at this stage. And you can see the puddles that are beginning to form in the first sector here. And we spoke about it earlier on, Brett, how crucial it was going to be to avoid some of the, he's just up at 130R, how important it was going to be to avoid some of the curbs tonight, because of the water pooling. And you can see all the draining is on the inside of the corner, so that's where it's all starting to pool up, and that's where it's going to be at its slipperiest.
Have a look at the spray as you come down this straight.
Yep, look at that.
I mean, Hoffy's just hanging back a little bit there, but once you get tucked up underneath the spoiler of another car, you cannot see anything. And do you know what's good for? Someone's off up there a little bit. Was that Kiddis?
I think it is Kiddis. It was.
Do you know what's good for what's good in with water?
What?
Pressure cookers. And it's being turned on and it's being turned up.
It has indeed, and it's been turned on and turned up for those drivers who are, well, now under pressure because of their previous worst rounds in terms of their drop rounds as well this season. And with those drivers down the order at the moment, you think of Reese DeGoey. This won't be a drop round for him if he finishes in P11. Must take these points. Kiddis in P18 must take these points. His previous two worse are far worse than where he currently is. Same for Hennessy as Brett Taylor goes round to those drivers. Have to take evasive action. That there was Jeremy Bush, who tried to avoid, locked the rears, and slid in right into the side of Brett Taylor's car. That's a scary moment for him.
That was huge. That almost could have taken out Kiddis there too.
It could have. It could have taken out Kiddis, who's now stuck in behind yourself here, Brett. We're lap 23 of 35, and you can just see the smooth wheel work that you're trying to implement, keeping this car under control through the fast and medium speed corners here at Suzuka. Very tough circuit to get the water at, but ultimately probably one of the more realistic we'd see this type of rain.
I'll tell you what, you're sketchy out on track. You know, you're trying to apply the throttle as gently as possible, trying to get drive out of the car, and it's just, you know, some people really go really well in the rain, some people not so great, and some people intermediate. But I mean, have a look at that spray. I mean, cars darting in and out of the spray behind, and they just absolutely disappear. It's like that as you go down the straight.
Like a smoke screen.
Cannot see a thing.
It is like a smoke screen. Look at Hennessy on the inside. On the inside on Monday.
Nice move,
great move. Must be said though, great move for Monday too. Gave him plenty of room. Remember, it takes two to tango. He has done well to avoid an oncoming incident with that one, as Kiddis just has to pull out of the spray from your car ahead of him, Brett, just to try and see anything down the straight.
Massive amount of spray. Massive amount of spray.
It's a great battle that's starting to heat up, and you can see the puddling of water and how much this is just beginning to affect these cars and their handling at this point. So now past the midway point of the race. A lot of curb, a lot of liberties on curb here in wet conditions. He is really rolling the dice and really playing it on a knife's edge for his grip limits.
He's right, closed up on himself there. Oh, sideways. Sideways for Kiddis.
There's a massive slide. And now just continues to chase you down here, Brett, is Kiddis. But we know he needs to make some moves now. Needs to try and push his way forward and get himself further up the order once again, as James Baldwin's had a minor off track ahead of these guys now. He's had a self-spin, it seems, down at turn 11, so he's given up some time. Luckily, though, have plenty of gap over yourself and the others here, Brett, as this battle continues on.
Header sheet. Yeah, header sheet really closed up on the back of Kiddis. Maybe I'm a bit of a cork in the bottle here, maybe.
Well, but this is one of our closest battles on track. It's one of the closest on track at this point as well.
Yeah. Have a look at that spray. It just amazes me. Like, I know when I've been behind cars with spray, you just can't see a thing. And I don't know how people are seeing. It's like they must have X-ray vision or something, because it is dead set.
Maybe it's a bit of muscle memory.
Really hard
Brett.
to see where you are on track.
Maybe it's a bit of muscle memory.
It could be.
You know where you are, and you dart out of it just to try and get a bit more awareness of where you are on track. Maybe.
Let's see how to she darting out there just to sort of see. You can see under the front tyres the water sort of pulling up underneath the car.
Oh, Kiddis getting real close. Just overextend. Kiddis just overextending his brake marker there. He's pushing hard, but is he over pushing the car?
Monday in the fight there too. He closed right up on header sheet.
So we ride with Kiddis once again, who continues to put the pressure on now. So we come towards turn one, massive lock under brakes, nearly makes contact. into one, tries to go up the inside, still hooked on the inside, turns around. Brett Fisher does Alex Kinnis, and the question must be asked, if he's nearly drilled him twice in 2 corners, why is he trying to go for the second move that was never there? And ultimately, Kinnis is now dropping down the order because of it. That'll be a penalty for race control for sure. Oh, and he's nearly making contact with Blanchard as well. Unbelievable stuff. And ultimately, Brett Fisher's very silent right now because he was a part of that incident. I'm sure has a lot of opinions about it at this point in time.
Yeah.
We would like to speak on behalf of Brett Fisher to mention the fact that he was very frustrated. There was a lot of improper words used in that moment as well when that happened. And Brett would like to apologise that he cannot provide his thoughts any further. Monday's off now as well.
Monday's off, yeah.
At the upper
Shame,
10, 11.
he was right in there with header sheet.
He's doing a great job.
He was right in there with header sheet.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'll let race control sort of do their thing on that. I have my opinion, but
Michael
all good.
Jones.
Oh, Jones. And it's good to see Jones. He's still in there. He's in 9th spot in the top 10. Duggan up 9 spots in 10th. That's a great effort. Mick Clifton up 9 spots in 7th.
Yeah, one of our...
Allen up 13 in 5th.
Well,
so there's some great. Shane Mennel up 4.
Of course, our Mick Clifton, our driver of the day last week out at Sebring, doing another great job here tonight. So driving incredibly well. Our driver of the day last week up 9 at this point in time. Mackenzie's just gotten past Ron Allen, who's made a mistake crucially down at turn 1. And that has allowed Mackenzie past. And remember as well, Brett, we get a free wild card tonight for our driver of the day because it's a wet race.
Yes. Yeah,
so we could give it to Stephen Kokoschki without wasting our wild card that we can use in the final 2 rounds to select a driver to give it to. And we could nominate him as the race winner if he does win, of course. Because he's driving very well.
Everything he's got at the moment. He's doing great at the moment. Pardon me. I mean, he's got a nice little buffer, nearly 5 seconds. And then Cesar's got a nice 5 to 6 seconds gap back to Damon.
So
Randall,
in, by the way.
then 4.5.
Kiddis is in. And he's driving through pit lane. So he has received the black flag from race control and he is driving through. So he completes a drive-through penalty, does Alex Kiddis. But I'm just looking at the incident reporter here, Brett. He still has a black flag. So he's driven through pit lane and he still has a black flag.
This is gonna hurt his championship big time. I mean, he's back down in 30th at the moment.
Yeah. So the problem for him, the problem for him is right. So if he doesn't complete this black flag and commit to this black flag, as Michael Jones and Todd Duggan are having a massive incident up here at the moment. This is all heating up. Just quickly, if he doesn't, that was so close. And that's on the old motorcycle start straight as well. So that's a very high speed area, very dangerous. For that moment it happened at that time. But the point I was quickly making was if Kiddis can't complete this black flag within 3 laps of receiving it, he will be disqualified by iRacing. The drive-through apparently wasn't good enough to serve the black flag. So what that tells me, Brett, is he has a 30-second stop-hold penalty for that incident with yourself, which means that he needs to come back into pit lane, stop in the box, be stationary for 30 seconds, and then push on again. If he doesn't do that, then it's not going to count. As Pete Baxter's now gone off the road up at the exit of turn 11. So everyone's going off at this point.
It's going,
And for the front runners like Kokoschki and Co, they've just got to keep themselves sorted now as Duggan is really wrestling this thing.
Yeah, I was just looking at Damon too. He's closed that gap to Cesar under a second now. So he was 5 seconds out.
Look at that.
6 seconds out.
So there's a bit of damage on the front of Cesar's car. So he's had an off somewhere that has dropped him pace.
Something's happened.
And
Header sheet in pit lane.
Yep, so header sheet's in.
It's funny, we're just talking before about Jones and all that sort of stuff and what's happened, you know, like all these guys we were just mentioning, bit of sunshine there, things have gone astray. Things have gone sideways, So
Allen, Clark and De Goey are all battling away here. Heddersheet's just come into pit lane and he's gone straight off the road. Down at turn 1. So it is all imploding on them now in their attempts to try and serve things. Kiddis is now into pit lane, so remembering he needs to stop in the pit box. He's got a stop hold. It's not a drive-through, Alex. You've got a penalty which tells you what it is. As he drives through, he's not going to stop. He's not stopping. He's done it again.
Yeah, it's not going to clear it for him.
No. He's driven through pit lane twice. The black flag is still there because he has a stop hold penalty. He has to come through. If he doesn't come through at the end of this lap and stop in pit lane, he's going to get disqualified. So he's got to drive into pit lane and stop that car in the box. Plain and simple.
Yeah. So Fisher now right up on the back of Cesar. He's only short of half a second. Pulls out of the big cloud coming behind Cesar. And closing too. So this battle is really heating up now.
Oh, Fisher's right behind him, losing the rear, getting real slidey. So is Cesar. Of course, in his spare time, Halil is a drift coach over at some of the local circuits in Sydney. So he loves the wet stuff. He knows how to control the rear. So that's why Damon's going to have his work cut out for him right now to try and get this job done on the former champion.
Oh, a little wiggle. Both of the guys there, well, Damon didn't go out as much, but Cesar definitely had a wiggle in that tail. So he's feeling the pressure now of Fisher right behind him. I'll tell you what, Damon is driving, and it knows me, brother, but he is driving very, very well.
Very well.
You know, like he's coming off the back of having a poor internet connection, suffering.
I would say this is on par, Brett, with his Sandown drive of last season.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Nah, sensational. Like, I mean, he hasn't moved up any, but he hasn't lost any at this point. But driving incredibly well. And actually, just by the look of the car and the attitude that the car has been showing throughout this whole race as we see Mick Clifton off.
Yep, so there's a moment there for Mick Clifton. So drivers are just starting to drop now like flies.
But what I was saying is that just the attitude on the car and the way he's driving just seems to be, like we talked about Adelaide the start of this year, or start of this season, and he was just very tentative to attack and lots of stuff. But it's a different Damon. It is a different Damon this time we're seeing. He's not actually hanging back. He's actually looks like he's ready to attack.
Well, he is, and he wants it up the inside at 130R. You're not quite willing to go for it just yet, by the way. Just to continue to update you on this weird little penalty debacle for Alex Kiddis. He's back into pit lane once again. And is he driving through again?
Oh,
is he seriously driving through again?
He hasn't figured it out.
He hasn't figured it out. And he's on the blower to race control. He's pulled over. If they Brett, what I would say right now is okay. So, you know, Breton and the guys, they're great race controllers. They've been incredible all season. Right now, for Alex Kiddis, he needs to be told to just continue to drive because ultimately he would be disqualified if he kept going right now because he is not committed to his black flag and he has not completed his black flag either. He's made it past 75%, which would get him points. So
Roy Clark having a challenge on Ron Allen.
So outside of your incident with him, right? Because we're now past that. We're away from that, right? We're at what Alex has just done. So he's been allowed to tow back to pits and he's been allowed to elect to leave the race. He's past 75%. If he had kept going, he would have been disqualified if he'd gone for another lap because he wouldn't have made it back to pit lane and because he hasn't served the black flag. So there's a controversy there of, well, should he be allowed to finish his race or should he have to keep going into the point of disqualification because he hasn't done it?
Yeah,
and I'm interested to know what the chat feels. I think he should not be allowed to receive points for this race because if he kept going, he would have gotten disqualified. So he wouldn't have gotten
Battle
points.
side by side.
They're still
I
going.
hear what you're saying.
Yeah. Roy Clark, Ron Allen continuing this battle now for P6 on the road. Ron's done a great job tonight, up 12 through tenacity all throughout. A couple of self-made mistakes along the way to maintain the top 10 at this point is a great effort as Ben Brook has gotten past Todd Duggan, who's made a mistake down there, has been into the wall, but he has managed to keep it rolling at this point in time. Phil Manuel agrees. Phil Manuel agrees. He thinks he should be disqualified, you can't disagree with it. Ultimately, because if he had kept going, he would be disqualified. He doesn't deserve points for 31st place because he hasn't done his black flag. Ultimately,
Well, technically, it's still actually being handed. He still actually has that black flag. It hasn't been cleared.
It hasn't been cleared.
So Caesar still under fire by Damon here. It did drop down right to about 0.2, 0.3 shortly, but Damon's just dropped off the back of Caesar.
Well,
whether Caesar's managed to sort of gain a bit of momentum again.
One factor we're overlooking right now, and it's looming in the background, Brett. Halil Caesar's teammate, Shane Randall.
Yeah, Randall.
So could Caesar maybe try and hold up Fisher to allow Randall to chase him down, as Roy Clark's just had a little moment up here at the top of the hill at the chicane. Can he maybe hold him up, try and get Shane on the back of him and say, well, you can come past him and then you can come past me, and that's 2 spots.
Well, I mean, you're the team manager, so you probably already know that answer. As I'm being attacked by bugs.
It's not what he's doing, by the way. I asked him if he wanted to. Shane didn't want to.
Yeah, fair enough. No. Okay, yep. No, that's cool. Jones just been overtaken by Todd Duggan. So these guys have been battling back and forth for a few laps now. I've seen those places switcheroony around-y-o.
Well, as well as this battle
Brooke
here
and Matt Stoyles.
with Mick Clifton as well. Roy Clark, Mick Clifton, Reese to go as well. Those guys are battling too. And this is important now for Reese. He's got to try and minimise the points loss that he would drop from Randall tonight. So he's got to try and get past both of them to minimise the loss of points, if you will, to Shane Randall, who now with Kiddis at P31, possibly getting disqualified, possibly not. He's going to get up to second place in the championship now because of this. So for Randall, he's got to try and maximise the points he gains, and for DeGoey, he's got to try and minimise the points that Shane gains on him to keep the pressure on Shane going into the final 2 rounds and the final droppable round next week out at Miami.
Just seeing Roy Clark saying I spun more times than a Saturday night dance. So poor bugger. And there's a feisty little battle going on. Way down the pack there too, with Lovegrove, Horsell, McCune, Weston, and myself.
You guys are all going at it here, Brett. The final few laps to go in this race. Oh, Lovegrove loses the rear. That's going to allow all of you through. A little 4-for-1 special, if you will. And a great move from them.
Damon back up into 0.2 behind Cesar.
We're just continuing to apply this pressure now.
Oh,
little massive little snap. That was a big snap.
Was big.
And that will be scaring him a little bit. The Turkish wall of Halil Cesar, of course, currently is celebrating Ramadan for the next month, so he had to get into practice late because he had to break his fast prior to the race start. So, although it hasn't really hindered his race acumen tonight, it's actually helped him a little bit.
No. Yeah. Oh, Jones up and back
Michael
there for a
Jones.
second there on. Yeah.
Oh, with Rick Viger. Oh, it's a shame.
Oh, he's still trying to get the car back, and the grass is so wet that you actually have to be very careful. You actually just go nowhere when you're on the grass.
believe that there is Mr. Headersheet in the chat saying my race was done with poor quality, hard when first run was Thursday. Yep, that's a real shame, Simon. But not too bad of an effort thus far. If I have a quick look at the points prior to tonight, previous worst for Headersheet was a 144. It's actually not too much of a loss on Randall or Reese.
Damon
ultimately.
closing up on Cesar again.
Yes, there he is in the background.
2, side by side.
Oh, he's trying to get him, wasn't quite able to do it.
And I tell you what, the difference, like we talked about before, the difference there is that it does look attacking this time. It doesn't look like before at Adelaide where he's poking the nose out and didn't actually push the move. You know, it actually looks like he's got the car right up on side or close to and actually having a decent look. So Cesar would be feeling a little bit here now, knowing that he's had a number of attacks at him in these conditions. It's fantastic to see the way these guys are driving, really.
Well, we've had confirmation that Simon Headersheet is going to miss next week's race. So that means he'll get back tonight's points wherever he finishes after the second drop is made. We're just waiting for confirmation in the chat if he's going to make the finale round, because that'll tell us the story if he is going to be somewhat of a contender or not heading into Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. So we need to know, Simon, if you're going to be there, because realistically it's going to dictate who we're going to be looking out for. Oh,
have a look at the attack now on with Fisher on Cesar. Like, same again.
He's all over him.
It's just a different driver. Just a different driver.
Amazing what an internet connection can do for you, isn't it, Brett? And, but I think what it is as well, though, is right. So if we compare Adelaide to tonight, so Adelaide, he was still on his old internet connection, and you actually, I think some people maybe fail to realise how important a good internet connection is, as well as obviously a good processor on your computer as well, because the internet doesn't just help you join and download things faster, it actually loads things faster, it encodes things faster. So you mix that with a really, really good processor, all of a sudden you can tell when things are going to happen a lot quicker than what you could before. So this brand new internet connection for Damon has upped his level significantly, and what it's done is it's actually allowed him now probably to tell when things are going to be happening before they actually do, as he gets a little slide through spoon. Oh my God. But it's filling him with so much. It's filling him with confidence.
But look at that. Like, he's actually, he's actually gained out of that. It was almost like he got more drive out of it when he had that thing slightly sliding. Oh, looked on the inside there for a second. This is heating up. Lap 32 of 35. This is an absolutely fantastic battle. Kokoschki way out in front, nearly 5-6 seconds. So it's his race to lose at this point, but the battle is between Cesar and Fisher on track at the moment. Also, Ron Allen and Clark. There's a big battle there. Clifton DeGoey. DeGoey, it's important. He's in ninth at the moment, in the top 10. Benjamin Brook, that's a good effort for Benjamin too. He's up 2 spots. Mick Clifton up 8. I
don't agree with Steve Grumley's take, saying it looks like an easy championship to win. I disagree with you, Stephen. I don't think it is. I think this is going to be a very difficult season to win, because I think that with the drivers that are going to be going into the final round as contenders when the drop rounds are considered.
Just took Allen.
So Clark now up to P6. When those, knowing when those drivers are going to be into it, as Fisher gets real loose. He nearly had him. He had the run. Couldn't quite get there.
He was up there.
He was. So, ultimately, I think with the drivers that are going to be battling for the championship, I don't think it is going to be all so easy. It's going to come down to those drivers who are super consistent. And ultimately, I think consistency is a lot harder to beat than just overall speed. I think that's going to be the main key talking point in that one. As Cesar is trying to survive now against Damon Fisher. There you see Randall looming in the background. He's gained a little bit of time.
Closing stages. This is coming down to the wire. And I'll tell you what a fantastic run this has been for the last few laps.
As Clark's off the road again, by the way. Clark is off the road again. Also, Andrew Hoffman has gone a lap down as well. I think he's had an incident earlier on. I'm sorry that we've missed it. But we can see that Cesar and Fisher are continuing this battle. We're going to have 2 laps to go. 2 laps for Cesar to hold off Damon Fisher, who's been onslaughting him this whole race. Watch for Damon at 130R. He's alongside. He's still alongside with a turn in. Damon Fisher, they're still going to run side by side up towards the Hitachi chicane, and Cesar's going to hang on for the moment.
Wow. Well, in these conditions, this is fantastic. Well done, boys. That was absolutely brilliant. A little bit of a slide coming off the corner there for Damon. He's going to lose a bit of top-end speed down this one. What a run.
Oh, my God. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And again, it is giving us glimpses back of Sandown only a few seasons ago in what was a previous top performance for Damon Fisher. And tonight, hoping to run a similar moment as well, as Andrew Hoffman has gone off the road underneath the bridge and he's popped that engine. That car is done. That car is caught. He's right there.
Damon's onside.
He's alongside before Nippo corner. Damon Fisher out of 6 takes P2 from Halil Cesar. And I don't think Cesar's got anything to come back at him with. The car is struggling with that damage. So now, with only 1.7 seconds between the teammates, knowing that the 501 is trying to challenge for the championship, we may see a swap of positions here just to give Randall a position on the road over to Goey. But what a great battle and what a great chase down for Damon Fisher. Unbelievable.
Tell you what I liked about that was the fact is that it was a number of laps. Scotty McKenzie off track there for a second. A number of laps the attack was happening. It wasn't just a throw it all at it and have one big lunge. It was a lot more calculated, like we talked about earlier. That was a fantastic move. It was a great little pass, and kudos to him. He's going to get just going past Sean Cullen at the moment. Lap 34 of 35 coming down to the final lap.
We've not got many more to go now. Coming up towards the end of this race. What has been a phenomenal run to the checkered flag for Stephen Kokoschki. Well, this is a race win that he needs tonight. He's got one more lap to defend this race lead. White flag, lap 35. It is Kokoschki to Fisher, to Cesar, although he's moved over. So he's allowed Randall through. So there is the championship team play to give Randall the benefit up to P3.
I don't count Damon out either, because he's closing in on Kokoschki now. I mean, he's a fair way out, but he was just, Let's see what happens for the rest of this lap. But Randall in third spot at the moment. Allen and Clifton and DeGoey into 8th now, so he's moved up another spot.
So we've got Connor Nixon watching over on the Infinity Broadcasting channel. He's asked what's going on. Sorry. It's split 2 events, Connor. I recommend you go back about 2 hours ago on the broadcast and watch the race through. It has been absolutely intense, unbelievable.
Yeah,
been a fantastic watch. Probably one of our best races of the season alongside Moss Sport earlier on in the championship. And there's an important battle that's happening right now as well, Brett. This one back here, Allen, Clifton, and then DeGoey and Brooks. So DeGoey now P8 would be dropping 5 positions worth of points right now to Randall -1, because he did get an extra point for leading a lap earlier in the race. So,
and I don't want you to go off this at the moment, but Damon's now within a second of Kokoschki. How fast does he close that down? He's down to 0.7, 0.6. So, like,
he's right on him.
If he got past Cesar,
if he got Cesar past a lap earlier, if he'd got it done at 130R when he tried, he probably would have been here a lap earlier, and he would have been able to challenge him across this lap. Unfortunately, though, it's come a lap too late, and that's the problem for Damon. But for Kokoschki, he's got to survive now the final 4 corners of this race. A fantastic effort at the top end of town in what has been a fantastic race for himself, but unfortunately, I think it's been overshadowed by the phenomenal drive of Damon Fisher. As he comes round turn 18, Stephen Kokoschki with a crucial race win that couldn't come at a better time in the season. He wins it in Suzuka to Damon Fisher in P2. Shane Randall will finish in P3. Halil Cesar in P4 with Scott McKenzie making up our top 5. Ron Allen will try and survive the onslaught of Mick Clifton, Reece DeGoey, and Ben Brook to the line as they come round the Hitachi chicane. Ron looks to survive it.
Yeah, and Ron's done a great job, 12 spots up. Mick Clifton, fantastic job, 9 spots up. And Reece has done really well to get himself, you know, in the top 10, so fantastic effort there.
Yeah, Matt Stoyles will make up our top 10. Roy Clark, James Boardman. Joel Lucival was right on them before. I think he's actually had a lose on the final lap here. But a phenomenal drive. And I think as well, I don't even think we need to... Well, I don't know. Let's go through the race results and let's go through the highlights to figure it out and how we want to process it as well. We've still got some cars finishing up, actually. So Matty Monday is still going to come to an end here as well. So we'll have 20 all drivers technically are classified right now because they've all made 75%. But there is an asterisk on Alex Kiddis whether he would get disqualified or not for not completing his black flag. We believe he should be. You guys also agree, but we'll see if race control will determine that as well. As the final few cars are just getting ready to come across the line now. Brett, you've just finished your race, down 4 in P21, but that's not a bad result after getting turned around at turn 1. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Made a great move on Scotty McKeon the last couple of corners there too, and Scotty messaged me and said, mate, I wasn't going to fight you on that, that last one, so that was good.
So our final finish up in the end, Jeremy Bush will cross the line and finish it out for us. But it is a race win for Stephen Kokoschki, his first of the season. Has it come too late for a championship charge? Well, we'll see what happens next week at Miami, whether he can do it again and continue this ball rolling. But let's have a quick look as we head now to post-race highlights for you for round 8 of the season. And it all started on lap 1, of course, down on the start-finish straight. A great start from quite a few drivers, but the one we want to focus on is Alex Kiddis and Chad Weiger inside of the top 10. This was the moment that we saw on the edge of the circuit as we were coming through here. So Alex just taking a little bit too many liberties through there and makes some contact. And then watch, there's Pete Baxter and Scott McKeon, one of the EWT cars. It wasn't Scott Weston. I think it might have been Brett Taylor. It was Brett Taylor. So all of those guys getting involved. And then the run up here through turn 5 and 6, a little bit of a door, Blanchard off the road and into the sand, and Randall continues on off the back of that.
Blanchard got out of that lightly, actually. Like, it could have been a lot worse. He could have spun the car.
Well, it did get worse for him as he rejoined the track. He's then rejoined, and he's had himself a little bit of a moment up here at the next corner. So he comes back on track nearly and just doors into the side of header sheet and round it goes. So, yeah, it did get just that little bit worse for him at that point in time. As we just have to try and scroll down. It kind of petered out a little bit. First pit stops came into effect, of course, and first few drivers came in at this point of the race. We never got a safety car throughout this one either. We thought that maybe we'd get one because of the rain, but we didn't just quite get one in the end. We did have some minor off tracks before the rain came, but it was relatively clean before it did happen. We did get this moment though down at turn 1 with Brett Taylor just running it slightly wide down here. I thought Derek Lovegrove might have actually had a moment with him, but I think it may have just been synchronised because Derek's also gone off the road, and I don't really know why it's classified it ultimately for you, so I do apologise. But then we were getting into some heavy moments here as the rain would begin to fall inevitably, and drivers would start having moments. So Rick Feiger just running it wide down at Hitachi chicane in a bit of a struggle moment. This cost Shane Randall a crucial spot as well. This was down at turn 1, just running it a bit wide, and that cost him time. Actually, didn't even cost him a spot. I thought it might have, but just cost him some crucial time down there. This was Alex Kiddis as well, making a moment up at the Degners, so just running it wide and into the sand. So again, just overextending the track limits, it seems, tonight for these drivers was one of the biggest issues. Scotty Weston as well had a moment down here with Mick Clifton down at the second Degner. So just as he's come through, there's a little bit of Netco, but Pete Baxter, and around he goes. So that's a real shame. Then the weather started to turn on its head a little bit as drivers were making mistake after mistake. This was another one for Kiddis up at the Degners once again, just running it way wide in the wet conditions. And that's a real struggle street moment for him. Brett Horsell as well involved in an incident too, and I believe it's a similar one to Kiddis's where he's just run wide down there. And oh no, he just got the rears loose on the exit, so that's that's why that happened. This was Kiddis out of pit lane, by the way. This was why he ended up off track out of pit lane, just cold tyres and struggled in the wetter of conditions as well. And again, just struggling and pushing too hard ultimately as the race kept going.
Desperation, trying to, you know, obviously trying to get something back of his race.
I'm trying to find Reese DeGoey's moment, which I think was whilst this was happening to Kiddis. So this was DeGoey's self-made spin down at turn 11, which ended up costing him bulk positions and crucial positions down there as well, which was a real shame for him. And then this was the big controversial one. This was the one down at turn 1-2. Nearly piles into the back of you, Brett, and then goes for a move that's not even there, and just continues to tap you and eventually spins you around, and that's why Kiddis ultimately got his couple of awkward runs through pit lane, and why we were so vocal about it as well. But yeah, ultimately it was a safety carless race in what was a great battle to the end for quite a few drivers, and in the end it was a race win for Mr. Stephen Kokoschke. But I think we can agree, Brett, I don't think we need to poll the field. I think we know who the driver of the day is tonight.
Me.
No, it's not Brett. It's not Brett. No, it's Damon. I think Damon Fisher is the driver of the day tonight. I think we have to concede it and just call it that he was the driver of the day. We'll drag him in as well. He's into the green room to have a quick chat with us too here tonight. Damon, welcome in. Congratulations. P2 on the road in the end. If you'd maybe got that job done earlier on Halil, maybe a lap earlier, you would have caught Stephen a lap earlier and then put the pressure on him for that final lap. But P2, still a very solid result. And it is the driver of the day as well for yourself too here tonight. Congratulations.
G'day, guys. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I was trying to get past Hell Hill a lot earlier, but as I've done before, I've made a few mistakes in pushing too hard. So I was really just trying to set him up and sort of give myself confidence with the car in trying to make that move, because I knew it could have gone sideways for both of us, and I didn't want that to happen. But yeah, look. Congratulations to Steve. I've sort of felt like I did have the pace. I don't know what happened there, but I just synced with the car on the track and the wet conditions. And maybe the internet connection, like you guys were saying, was definitely helped me quite a bit. Yeah.
I think probably a boost of confidence, knowing that you weren't blinking out there and almost being a rolling worry for some drivers, obviously, which I know is obviously a tough thing on you because it's not necessarily your fault if that happens. It's a tough moment when it does happen. So the confidence knowing that you were going to have a stable connection, you weren't going to be getting in anybody's way because of that. But then also as well, with that heightened speed of internet, just able to process things a lot faster and actually able to almost get a much better feeling of the circuit. I know that it's something that's definitely I've felt before when I've upgraded internet. I've gone from Wi-Fi to Ethernet cable with fiber to optic, and then fiber to node, and then fiber to premises with a cable as well, and then from that to a direct line. It's a whirlwind of upgrade that you eventually do actually have a noticeable difference on when you're driving, and I think that's one thing that a lot of drivers would actually benefit from when they do actually make some upgrades, is make sure that their internet and their internet infrastructure at their home is up to order, because I think that ultimately is a great thing for you. Not challenging for the championship this season, obviously, and I think that you guys may have to make a choice over the next few weeks who's going to get favoured, whether it's Joel or whether it's Phil. I think right now Phil's carrying the momentum more than Joel is. Is that something that you guys are going to start to think about now, heading into Miami and into Montreal in the next 2 weeks?
Oh, look, yeah, most definitely. I mean, I'm not gonna jump a spot if Phil or Joel happen to be sort of up there. I think it's just fair. Like if they've got a chance of winning it or coming closer than what I can get to it, then obviously, yeah, I think that's just the right thing to do. But yeah, we'll just see what happens. But I think you're right. Yeah, the internet connection is definitely a big thing, and I think you're right. Yeah, the processing of turning into a corner, and it just everything flows a bit smoother, and that's definitely something that's we'll sort of probably get used to over the next few races and stuff, because I'm obviously still getting used to that. But yeah, most certainly there'll be team discussions on how we sort of move ahead.
Well, we look forward to seeing how you do and how your team does now across the next 2 rounds as well, Damon. Congratulations on P2 here tonight and your driver of the day as well. Is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to before we let you go this evening?
Yeah, look, I'd like to thank Mr. Shane Patterson. I know he's not in our team, but yeah, he's helped me with an item that I might be implementing next season. Gary Buckland also is someone who he lends a hand, whenever you got some computer issues and stuff like that. And look, most guys in vets do that, and I think that's what makes this league so fantastic. You get talking to guys, and if you're having issues with something, and they can help you, they do. Chris Blakely for our paints, the 266 liveries, awesome job there, and also all the guys in our team, just absolute fantastic guys. And same thing again, we all try and help each other with the car setups, and not physical setups, but your brake bias and your brake pedals and all that sort of stuff to try and dial the car in better for the next race and all that sort of stuff. So and also shout out to Luke Allman too. He's another one that's sent me an item to sort of help me sort of progress with with my internet connection and all that sort of stuff. So and then all the sponsors and Lisa. Yeah.
And thank your brother for hassling the shit out of you to get bloody internet.
yeah, and to my brother too.
Well, Damon, we appreciate you coming to have a chat to us. Best of luck at Miami next week for the second to last round of the season. We look forward to seeing how you go and seeing where you end up in the grand scheme of things, heading towards season 27 in a few weeks' time.
No worries. Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much. We've had Matt Monday, the chat saying up 14 spots, no good. Matt, I apologise. I do want to give a shout out, though, to some drivers out there who did have some great drives tonight. Matt was one of them, up 14. Ron Allen up 12 as well, had a great run tonight too. Shout out as well, Stephen Kokoschke, the race winner, drove incredibly well, as did the likes of Matt Stalls, Ben Brook. Roy Clark did quite well tonight too, as well. ultimately, I think from what we saw from Damon, he drove a perfect race. He battled hard. He was tenacious, and he had to earn that P2. He wasn't handed his P2. He had to earn it all throughout that race, and he drove very, very well to earn it.
And the other one was too that we didn't actually put names forward, and the names were actually coming up in the chat, quite substantially. So
yeah. Like Damon was getting a lot of support in the chat for driver of the day anyway. Stephen did get a couple of mentions out there, but Damon was already getting some shout outs already before we were even going to put names out. And as we were running through the highlights, I was trying to think of people who I could nominate, and ultimately Damon was the one that impressed me the most tonight. And with a wet round, we get a free wild card to pick someone or to give it to the race winner. So we're going to use those wild cards when we get them to be able to select a driver. We have one left for the season, so there's still 2 rounds that we can select someone instead of putting it to the power of the chat. So if we feel that someone really, really outdoes everyone else, and we don't want to put it to the chat to save favoritism, we may just select them in the final 2 rounds to pick our driver of the day. But we'll see how it's dictated. But it's been a fantastic race once again, Brett. The weather was turned on for us here this evening, and what I think we've come to see tonight is there's been plenty of spanners thrown into the works. The controversies of what happened with the likes of Alex Kiddis tonight was massive. How that's going to affect the championship, time will tell. Hedesheed misses next week, so he'll still get this week's worth of points, even with it being a drop round going into the next round. So where does that place him in the championship? Right now, there's 2 drivers carrying the most momentum, and there's a third looming on the horizon, but he has to maximise next week out of Miami. The 2 drivers that are carrying the momentum, Reese DeGoey and Shane Randall. The one who needs to maximise next week off the back of this race win is Stephen Kokoschke. If he can go on to win at Miami, he can still win the championship here this season. It is huge. If either DeGoey or Randall win next week, Brett, that's going to flip the scales in terms of momentum against the other. And that's going to flip the scales of who could possibly win. What can Manuel do when he comes back? What can Buckland do when he comes back as well? Those guys are still within a mathematical chance at this point. So time will tell who our true contenders are going into the final round at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. You guys don't want to miss any of that action. So if you're watching on the V8 Vets channel, be sure to hit the like button, to subscribe, the bell icon as well, so you're notified whenever we go racing with Split 2, Split 3 or Split 4 action. Go and support SimSpeed TV as well. Give them a subscribe, so you're helping support those guys with the live Split 1 broadcast, 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time on Thursday nights. Help support us at Infinity Broadcasting by coming over to our channel, hitting the like button, the subscribe, the bell icon too, so you're notified when we go broadcasting on this channel. We've got coming up for you on Monday our double-header day once again. Highside Motorsports heads back in time for the Atlanta Thrash and Bash at Old Atlanta for Gen 6 Cup Car Series, and then later that evening we will head out to Circuit of the Americas for the next round of the VRS Porsche Cup Series as well, brought to you by the iRacing World Challenge. Brett, your final thoughts before we sign off this evening?
Well, I reckon all the veggies have been chopped up. The meat's been chopped up. The water has been added. And you know what that means, Hamish. All the spices have been sprinkled in there. I reckon the next couple of races, the pressure cooker's on. And I'll tell you what, this championship is heating up. And don't go anywhere. Don't miss it, because it is going to be fantastic. I'm pumped.
It is indeed. It is going to be an all-time grand finale coming your way in 2 weeks' time at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. But first, we've got to get through Miami Grand Prix circuit. So you guys don't want to miss any of that action. Next Saturday night, 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time, we go racing once again with the Racecraft Simulations V8 Veterans Split 2 action of Season 26. For myself, Hamish Munro Brett Fisher alongside, appreciate your time, appreciate your efforts being here with us once again. And thank you as well to our series sponsors, including the title sponsors, Racecraft Simulations, as well as Logitech G, Parramatta Isuzu Ute, Player One Sim Gear, Nova Simsports, Südspeed Gloves, LGC Images, and M1 Used Cars with the Driver of the Day award. Tonight it went the way of Damon Fisher. Next week, it could go to you. But until next time, we appreciate your time, appreciate your effort. We'll see you out at the wonderful Miami, Florida. But until then, stay safe, drive hard, and as always, bye for now.
Tires bleeding, fertile cubes, the motor's breathing, engine thunder. The Racing Series is a new milestone in Logitech G.
All the great old wheels, the G29, the G920, the G923, they all have their own unique way of connecting to each other, but there's no room for expansion with those products.
So the question arose was, what if we were to give the opportunity for the racer to switch out from a drifting wheel to a GT rim?
With the wheel hubs that we've created, that's got a very specific button set, but you can replace any of the steering wheels.
And the real lovely aspect to this was we could give the user, driver and the racer the opportunity to experience different genres of race.
That allows drivers to craft high quality, customized setups that resonate with your individual racing style.
When we start with the design, we always start sketching. Very often, once we've got sketches, we start discussing with engineering.
We had 3 rounds of engineering testing or user testing where we invited in users from sim racing, and every single round of feedback we refine, the product based on what they tell us.
In the sim racing lab, again, we're going to use data to really analyze what a driver needs. We've used everything from eye tracking to the inputs from the pedals, the inputs from the, let's just say, input devices, the wheel and the pedals, the shifter. We're taking that and we're compiling it so that we can build different products based on those individuals' needs for all consumers and all drivers.
I don't know of anyone else in the industry that's actually doing this kind of research into their products to see how their products are affecting performance of their users.
We've built the product to make sure that it's as reliable as possible.
So the innovations in engineering that I'd say we're most proud of is the sequential handbrake and shifter toolless changeover. This is now a patented system, so it's really easy for the user to just switch between modes.
If you give people the tools to do what they want, they will.
They will just go off and have fun.
Introducing the Rackraft PT1, custom-built full chassis racing simulator. The design project, codenamed The Cage, an 80/40 extrusion chassis sitting on top of a Sigma Integrale DK2 Plus 4-point full motion actuator system. No compromises in the cockpit of the PT1 simulator. To maximize the experience, we start with the 49-inch ultra-wide monitor for the greatest field of view in a small footprint of the simulator, down to the SimuCube wheelbase that's tucked up and behind the monitors with SimCore extensions to get things out of the driving area. Everything is connected to a Cube Controls GTX steering wheel with the built-in dash and all the extra button functions available at your fingertips. Driving through the Raceworks S1 pedals, the potentiometer throttle and the 2 hydraulic pedals for brake and clutch ensures you maximize the feel underfoot, and seating yourself into an OMP HTER bucket racing seat with OMP belts connected to a G-belt tensioner to provide that extra feeling and the heightened experience while you're driving. Additional interfaces and accessories in the PT1, we have twin butt kickers, one on either side of the OMP seat, as well as a Jinx sequential shifter, the SimPush Race Logic timer to the left-hand side, a Racecraft built-in WinSim kit with Philips Hue lighting and a built-in soundbar, plus the OMP side net to finish off the experience in the PT1. The Racecraft PT1, build number 1, the ultimate in sim racing experience, combining the best products in the market with the passionate, no-compromise approach that goes beyond racing simulation.